Welcome back to Cheche. We're live on Citizen TV, and we are continuing our conversation because NASA continues in its tradition of rejecting most things, the latest of which is the date gazetted by the IBC for the fresh election, that is October 17th. This election season has been prolonged and arduous for most Kenyans, and so now the question is, will we or won't we have a fresh presidential elections? Well, our guests this morning are the Jubilee Party Secretary General, Raphael Tuju, and Daisy Amdani, the Executive Director at the Community Advocacy and Awareness Trust, Crown. So before the break, Mr. Tuju, you were telling us about double standards. Jubilee not being held to the same standard as NASA. But NASA has made a series of demands, and we sort of, broached this earlier on, and you don't seem to give them credit, right, for wanting to ensure the integrity of the process.
Mm-hmm. Well, I think, first of all, let me tell Kenyans that we did not welcome the ruling of the Supreme Court, and that's natural, it's expected. But we've since moved on, right? It's very important that this country moves on. We may not agree with the rulings of the Supreme Court, but we must respect, because that's the rule of law. We are in the process now of preparing ourselves for the rerun. When it comes to the date that is set by IBC, that is the business of IBC. If NASA is not happy with the 17th, they want to move it to 24th or 31st, that is up to IBC. They can talk with the IBC, and if IBC changes the dates because NASA said so, it's okay with that.
But are they not reasonable when they say this needed to be consulted? Because they're stakeholders.
Yes.
Isn't it reasonable to ask, would you have been consulted?
Well, we were not consulted. It is up to the independent institution, hopefully, that is supposed to be independent, and they've set the date. But from where we sit, if they decide to change the dates to fit in with what NASA wants,
that's supposed to be independent. But you know what happened? The Cabinet Secretary for Education made a request for around October 17th, and within less than 24 hours, the date had been announced as October 17th.
Yeah, I think it's good, because I talked with Mr. Matiang'i about this, because it was of concern to me that it looked as if he was controlling the dates, and he told me that that was a request from the Kenya National Examination Council, and when he made that statement, he made the request in the presence of the chairman of the National Examination Council, because any delay in the exams is going to delay even the opening of schools, because the examiners are the same teachers, the ones who do the marking are the same teachers who have to be on time for the opening of school in the next term.
The school they also use as polling station.
I think they also use a polling station. So that, but then as far as I'm concerned, I don't talk for the ministry, I don't talk for the government, I talk for the party. As far as we're concerned, as a party, we don't care which date. We don't care.
One thing that never happened to us, I think, is embracing this idea of consultation. We had a very good constitution in 2010, a constitution that we envisaged would be able to handle all our issues and everything else. The moment we start talking about consultations, if the law says the IEBC sets the election date, then the IEBC should set the election date. Whether to consult or not is now up to them. That is now operations. You don't go into operations if you're a policy person. As far as Mheshimiwa Matiang'i is concerned, I am sure if he did come up and make that request, all Kenyans would be on him. You're the Minister of Education. Why are you keeping quiet? And this thing is interfering with the examination calendar. Remember, if we are not able to do the exams as stipulated, and this thing was planned at the beginning of the year, this thing will have a ripple effect into January, into February, into March, into university and everything else.
Look, this is what our viewers are saying, and remember the question that I'm